moment to center and just take a moment to be here, be in this place, check in with ourselves. And as you move a little side to side here, shift your sitting bones back and broad, and then let your hands rest down. If you'd like, you can let your eyes close. And as you take a moment to tune into your breath, give yourself permission to come to this place, to choose to be present. And then take a big expansive breath, filling up your entire torso. As you bring your hands to connect at heart center, let's take this moment on this Friday morning to honor and appreciate yourself for showing up, for being present and choosing to tune into what's going on for you today. On your next exhale, bow toward your heart. As you softly open your eyes and release your hands down, lift your shoulders up and back and lengthen up through the back of your neck. And then take a few moments to move through your head and your neck. So a little ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. Shake your head no. And nod your head yes. And as you come back into center now, walk your fingertips forward, just out in front of you a little ways, and you might bring your hands up onto props here. But move through a couple rounds of cat and cow, moving through your spine, inhaling your belly and your heart forward. Exhaling, press back through your spine. And as you move here, think of a gentleness. Think of some compassion for your spine and whatever's showing up in your body. And then inhale, extend your heart forward and work your way as far into a fold as your body is ready for. Again, feel free to have a prop underneath your elbows or your hands. If it feels good, you can let your eyes close and just take another full, big, deep breath, sending your breath way down into your low back and low belly. And now inhale, extend your heart forward and rise up to your hands, and we're walking hands over to the left side. And from the left side, come up to your right fingertips and reach your right fingertips a little further forward from your left hand. As you root gently through your right sitting bone, take a big breath into your right ribs, your right side body. And then walk your hands over to the right side. And again, left fingertips reach a little further forward of your right hand. Take a full big breath as you root gently through the left sitting bone and expand into the left side body. And then walk your hands back into center and all the way back upright. You can switch the cross of the legs if you're sitting cross-legged, and shift your sitting bones. And then walk your hands out to your knees and take a couple moments here again to move through a cat and cow, but this time more upright. Exhale, press back through your spine, and inhale, draw belly and heart forward. And with this second side of the cross of the legs, just notice if there's any difference in detail, difference in sensation in the body. Take one more big breath. And then coming back into center, work your hands just behind your hips, press down into the floor and lift up and open with your heart space, expanding into a little bit of a back bend. Full big deep breath as you draw shoulder blades onto your back. Tuck your chin gently in toward your chest, lengthening through the back of your neck. And then tilt your chin back if it's comfortable for your neck to get a little longer stretch through the front part of your neck. And then come back into center, rise all the way back up to your tall spine. And then bring left fingertips to the floor just inside your left knee, right hand to your hip, and take a gentle twist toward the right side as you press your left hand into your leg. Take a big inhale and expand. Big exhale and root through sitting bones. If you'd like, right arm can reach, getting longer through your right side body. Then inhale, rising all the way back up and bring the right fingertips to the floor in front of your right knee, left hand to your hip. As you start that twist a little bit to the left side, lengthen your sides. And then if you want to, you can take that reach of the left arm up and over your ear. Take a full big breath, expand the ribs. Notice that rooting action of your sitting bones. Then inhale back upright and now hands in front to clasp. Pull forward with your arms and round back through your spine. Your chin tucks in towards your chest, and then add a little bit of movement here, side to side, through your shoulders. And then inhale, sit tall, and now bring fists to your low back and give a little gentle press down onto your upper glute area. Lift up and open through the chest, hug elbows back toward each other. Take a full big deep breath. And now releasing your hands, let's shift forward onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees, find pillow or bolster if you have one and you're setting it in front of you. Knees are opening wide and you'll settle into a child's pose here. If you don't have a pillow or bolster, then you can do this just as a normal child's pose. But if you do, then you can set your head and your chest to rest. Take a full couple of breaths. And recognize any need for shifting or movement. And feel free to make those little gentle movements to help this pose feel more comfortable. And as you allow yourself to settle into a little bit of stillness, take another full breath. And this time, if you want to, you can inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. If your head is turned to one side, feel free to turn it the other way. We have another 30 seconds or so here. So take another couple of deep breaths and notice if there's any need to do a little more shifting. And now gently use your hands to support you to push your way up to your hands and knees. You can set your pillow or bolster aside. And then from here, as you set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, we'll get a little movement through the hips now and into the glutes. So reach back with your right leg, stretching it back behind you. And then turn open with your hip, engage the belly a little bit to support the low back. Give your foot a flex and press through your heel. And then a little bit of movement. Exhale, hips come back to level. And inhale, open it up. Exhale, hips to level. And inhale, open it up. 2 more this way. Full exhale, long inhale. And now as you open it up this time, bend your knee and press your heel toward the left side. Again, keeping some engagement through the belly. Reach through the thigh. Deep breath. And on your exhale, both knees come back to the ground. Inhale, lengthen back with the left leg. Press through the heel and start to turn open with the hip. Find that gentle engagement with the low belly to support the low back. And then begin that movement. Exhale to bring hips back to center. Inhale, open up. Exhale, hips to center. And inhale, open up. Full deep exhale. Long full inhale. Stay open now. Bend your knee, press your heel toward the right side. Lengthening through your thigh, engage your low belly. Then exhale, set your knee back on the ground. And then pause, hips drawing back towards your heels. We're going to turn our palms up and give our wrists a little bit of a break before we move on to the next movement. So if you want to, you can always rotate through the wrists or just move through the fingers. Okay, so back up to center on your hands and your knees. And now we'll take this cross-legged version of child's pose that gets into the glutes a little bit more. So lifting the right leg, cross the right knee behind the left. And I'll try to turn sideways so maybe that gives you a better visual. Knees are snugged up into each other, and then you're using your hands to help you shift your heels back or hips back as far as you need. That top knee might lift up off the ground a little ways. And then if it feels good, you can walk your hands further forward or maybe out to the right side. Take a full, big, deep breath. And then walking hands back into center, shifting forward back up to your hands and knees. Uncross the legs. And then crossing the left leg behind the right. And again, your knees get to snug right up into each other. And then use your hands to help you push your hips back towards your heel. And then notice that front knee. It can be down on the ground or it can be lifted. And then you can work your way forward with your hands, maybe out to the left side. Take a big, deep breath. And then back to center with your hands. And then shift forward onto your hands and knees. Uncross your legs. And now we're going to shift our hips all the way down to the ground so you can take them off to one side and legs out in front. And then we'll do a little bit more movement through the hips and a little hamstring stretch. So if you want to, you can always be sitting up on a blanket or something to give your hips a little elevation. But left leg becomes your base. We're going to pick the right leg up and hold on to the foot and knee. But if you need a little more support to help you sit up tall, use your right hand on the ground. You can always just hold your foot here. But then a little rock side to side through the right leg. And if you find that you have a lot of space, feel pretty good through the hips today, then you might even work this toward wrapping the foot and the knee into the elbows for more of a cradle. But wherever you happen to be, notice length through the spine, all the way from the low back. Try to lift up. Take a full big breath. And now gently release the leg down and we'll switch sides. Picking up the left leg. Again, left hand can be behind you to help you sit tall, or you can hold on to your foot and knee, or you can wrap elbows around your knee and foot for more of a baby cradle here, and then rock. And then gently releasing your foot. And we're going to switch sides again. This time, as you pick your right leg up, you're going to take a hold of either behind the thigh with your right hand, around your shin with your right hand, or around your foot for your half happy baby pose. So now knee is aimed back, foot is aimed forward. Left hand is your support now to sit tall. Lengthen your spine, and then create a pull back with your hand and a push forward into your hand with your foot. Take a deep breath. And now begin to move with your breath. As you inhale, lengthen your leg out long and straight. As you exhale, press your knee back. You're moving in and out of this hamstring stretch. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhaling to bend. And we have about 3 more. Remembering that a perfectly straight leg isn't necessarily the goal. Just length through the hamstring. And then set your foot down, set your leg down, and right leg becomes your base. And then we're picking the left leg up, and again, hold on where you need to for that half happy baby pose. So knee aimed back, foot aimed forward, create that pull back with your hand, create that push into your hand with your foot or leg, lift your ribs, lift your heart, take a full big deep breath, and all the way from down low at your sacrum, think of tilting your pelvis so your belly is moving a little forward. Full deep inhale and exhale. And now some movement in and out of that hamstring stretch. Inhale to lengthen towards straight and exhale to bend. Full inhale, long deep exhale, staying long through your spine the entire time. Full breath. One more big one. And then go ahead and set both legs down and bring soles of feet together into your butterfly. And you can pull feet in as close to your body as is comfortable, ultimately where you can sit up the best, all the way from down low, from your pelvis. Your belly gets to tilt a little forward. Holding onto feet, shins, or maybe fingertips behind you to stand, to sit tall. Take a big deep breath if you want to. You can add props under knees. But ultimately, close your eyes if it's comfortable and notice. Take your mind's eye throughout your body and check in with whatever's present. And then softly opening the eyes, shift your feet forward so that you have more of a diamond shape with your legs, and find your blanket if you have one and roll it up so that you have a little bit of a long roll. And then your roll is going to go over the tops of your feet and wrap underneath your legs. So you have that support for your ankles as your knees open. And then pillow or bolster inside your legs and over your feet. Move your sitting bones, move them back and broad. And then hands at the floor or at your legs, take an inhale, sit tall, exhale, hinge at the hips and fold towards your bolster, maybe setting your head down, maybe stacking your fists to set your head. You can always add more props to make it more comfortable. Take a deep couple of breaths here, letting yourself tune in to whatever is sensational. What are the sensations in the body and where are they? As we hold some of our restorative poses for a little longer, we get to notice if there's a point in time when you either have a little more space, so you can shift and maybe move a little further into your pose, or maybe something starts to speak to you in your body with sensation, and then you rise up a little ways. So shift as you need to. We have about 30 more seconds right here. And now as you inhale and bring yourself back upright, sitting tall, you can take your props out. And now we're going to take a spinal twist. And again, we'll use a prop. If you would like, you can always have a pillow or a bolster handy for you. Sitting sideways to the pillow or bolster, turn to face the right side with your left hip near your prop. And then knees bend back, and then you're turning your torso and your hips a little bit, your belly, toward the ground, toward your prop, and then start to rest over it, letting yourself settle. You can adjust the angle of your legs if you would like to. Take some full breaths. Just let yourself find that place in this twist that feels the best. And now using your hands to support you, push yourself back upright. And then we're going to turn ourselves to face the other way. So the right hip is against the bolster or pillow, and you're facing the left side. Your knees bend back so your feet are back, and then turn your belly, turn your heart towards your pillow or bolster, and start to rest. We're not symmetrical on our sides, so when we twist, it might feel different. You might feel like you need to take a little bit of a different twist here for yourself. So feel free to make whatever adjustments are needed. And now use your hands to support you to press yourself back upright. And so now we're going to turn our bellies down onto the bolster. So you can shift the bolster so that you have space for your head and your arms off of the end. And if you have a blanket here instead, that can be used. Or whatever you happen to have, you can also do this just on your belly. That's okay too. So as you come to hands and knees over your prop, you're going to lower yourself onto your belly. And then your hands come out in front of you through your head to set on. Or if you would like to set your head a little higher, you can take a prop underneath your forehead. Wherever that is for you, the other option here is to keep your legs just straight back and relaxed the way they are, or you can bend your knees out to the side, turning your toes and knees out. That adds a little bit of a hip opener here. Your choice. This is our crocodile pose. And as you take a few big breaths, the intention of this pose is to help add some movement into the low back and create some space. So fill your breath up into your belly. Let your belly compress into your prop or the ground. And just notice for yourself what kind of movement you can find through the low back from that belly expansion. We have about 30 more seconds here. And now if your legs are bent and out to the side, you can bring them back into center. And then use your hands for support to come up onto your hands and knees. And then one more time, child's pose. Shift your hips back towards your heels. You can always use your prop underneath your torso still to rest in this child's pose, or you can set it aside if you'd like. If you have your head turned one way, feel free to turn it the other way. And now using your hands to help you rise back up to your seat. Set your pillow or bolster aside. And then come all the way down onto your sitting bones. And we're going to make our way onto our backs. Make sure props are handy. And so as you come down onto your back, footprints are on the ground, knees are bent. And first thing, we'll add a prop underneath our hips to come into a restorative version of bridge pose. So you get to pick whatever prop that is. It can be a block, a pillow or bolster, or it could be a blanket. But with your feet in towards your sitting bone, push into the ground and lift your hips. Set your prop underneath your hips to the point where your sacrum feels comfortable and your low back feels comfortable. And so that might be affected by how high you lift your hips. So feel free to take your prop out and put another one underneath if that feels better. And from here, you can keep knees bent. You can even drop knees in together to touch, or you can walk your legs out straight and get more of that psoas stretch. If you want, arms can be overhead or by your sides. You choose here what feels the best in your body, what sort of stretch you need, and realize that you're not stuck in one place. You can always shift if something starts to not feel comfortable. But our restorative poses are meant to help us be able to settle our bodies in a comfortable way and find a release with ease. Now, as you're ready to, you can walk your feet back in. If your legs are still extended, arms can come back by your sides, and then gently press into the feet to lift the hips. And then move the prop out of the way as you set your hips down. And from there, you have your choice. Either you can lift your knees up into your chest and rock, or you can walk your feet out wider than your mat and take your knees side to side for some windshield wipers. So you get to decide what would feel good after that back bend. And then as you come back to center, footprints on the ground, we'll take one more hip stretch. So cross the left ankle over the right knee and flex the left foot. And then from here, you can lift your legs as close to your body as is comfortable. Just add a couple of rocks side to side, lengthening the low back. As you give your feet a flex and draw your knees into your degree, take a big couple of breaths and just notice the stretch for yourself. And then we're going to take that little bit of a rock with our legs over to the right side so that our left hip is lifted up a little bit. And then reach the left hip out to the left and forward toward the foot of your mat. The sitting bone is trying to move wide and forward. Take a big deep breath, a little bit of a stretch maybe through that piriformis, that little hip flexor underneath the glutes. And then bring the legs back into center. And you can stay right here if you would like to, or you're gonna hold on to the left leg, keeping it right where it is. Flex your left foot, and then unattach the right knee from your left ankle. Set your foot on the ground. And then even further, if you want to stretch your leg all the way out long and straight against the ground, you can. Your left leg is still in that same position that it was in your figure four. Take a big deep breath. This is basically an upside down version of pigeon pose. And then bend your right knee again and reattach it to your left ankle to set your right foot down and then set your left foot down. And then take that stretch to the other side. So right ankle over the left knee. Give your feet some activity as you draw your legs in toward your body. Rock a couple times to let your low back lengthen. And then as you hold this in the center for a moment, just take a big breath and notice what the stretch is on this side for you. And then you're going to take that little bit of a rock with your legs over to the left so your right hip is lifted. And then reach the right sitting bone out to the right side and forward toward the foot of your mat. Take a couple full breaths and notice what that sensation is. And now as you come back into center, if you would like, you can stay right here, or you can hold your right leg where it is, keep a flex to your foot, and then set your left foot on the ground And maybe set your whole left leg on the ground. Big full breath wherever that is. Letting that stretch be however deep it needs to be for you. And now you're bending the left leg and reconnecting right ankle with left knee to then set your foot down and set right foot down as well. And from here, find whatever props you would like to be able to rest in a Shavasana. I'll take a few moments in a Shavasana before a few moments of a meditation. So feel free to adjust and set yourself up in a comfortable way. Find what that looks like for you. And then let yourself settle. Let yourself tune into a soft but full breath. And begin to take a deeper breath. And add some gentle movement into your fingers and toes. As you're ready to bend your knees and roll over to your side. Let your hips stay heavy. Use your hands to support you. To bring your torso back upright to a seat. And then find a comfortable seat. Hopefully after some of those hip openers, hamstring stretches, you're a little bit more comfortable in the seat. And then whatever the version of your seat is, you can take One hand to your heart, and then peace fingers on the other hand to the floor beside you, if you would like, or you can simply rest your hands down on your legs. With a tall spine and your eyes closing, start to bring your awareness to your breath. Let your breath be slow, deep, and full. And even more so, allow your exhales to have the length, the depth. Inhale to a natural place. And then exhale and press the breath out just a little further. Inhale comfortably. And exhale, press your breath out with a little extra emphasis. And take this breath a couple more times at your own pace. And releasing that work with the breath. Just take a natural inhale and exhale in and out of your nose. And then bring awareness to your heart space. Notice that expansion of your heart space, front and back, side to side. And then tune into an affirmation of I'm always safe at the center of my being. Inhaling, I'm always safe. Exhaling at the center of my being. Now bring hands to connect at heart center. Draw them to your third eye and back to heart center. And bow toward your heart. Have a very peaceful and beautiful day. Have a wonderful weekend. Namaste.